We recommend asking a friend to take your measurements, as this is far easier and more accurate than doing it yourself. Similarly, if you have a client, you can ask them to come in and model for you. The model should only wear normal underwear, such as bra and pants, whilst being measured. Make sure the underwear does not restrict or control the form. Underwear that is too tight around the waist, hips and back can restrict the natural form of the body, and therefore give inaccurate measurements. When measurements are taken, ensure the model is standing with their back straight, in a comfortable posture. Make sure both feet are together, and their arms are placed at their side. Symmetry of the body is key when taking good measurements. Finally, make sure your model isn't holding their breath or sucking in their stomach. Remember to give yourself plenty of time and above all, relax and enjoy it. To take your bust, simply wrap a soft tape measure around the bust, take it around the back, across the shoulder blades and under the arms. It should wrap around the very fullest part of the bust. Simply take your tape measure together at the center front, and it is very, very important that the tape measure should remain parallel to the ground at all times, across the side and also the back. Make sure it does not fall at the center back. Simply cut a piece of string that is long enough to wrap around the waist at least twice. Tie a slip knot loop at one end and open the loop wide enough for your model to step into. Move the slip knot up the body until it is roughly at waist position. Tighten it until it is securely yet comfortably around the waist. Next, ask your model to flex from side to side and front to back to find the natural waistline. This is the natural waistline. It is roughly halfway between the rib cage and the belly button. You want to make sure that this slip knot loop is parallel to the floor all the way around the waist. Once you're happy, simply tighten the loop. Next, tape your tape measure, wrap it around the full circumference of the waist, bring it together at the center front, and placing your finger behind, so you have a little bit of extra space, it's not too tight, simply take your measurement. Once you're happy, take your measurement and record it into your chart. To take your hip measurement, simply wrap your tape measure around the very, very fullest part of the hips and buttocks. Make sure your tape measure is parallel to the floor, adjust if necessary. Also, make sure it's not too tight, and bring your tape measure towards the center front. When you're happy, record your measurement. To take your cross-back measurement, simply ask your model to turn around, lower the head, and then with the most prominent bone on the back of the neck, which is the nape, simply measure down roughly 14 to 15 centimeters, mark your location, take the line across the back, making sure the tape measure is parallel to the floor, and draw a line, invisible line, up from the armhole to the shoulder point. Do the same on the opposite side, from the armhole to the shoulder point, and simply measure the distance between that invisible line from the left all the way across the cross back to the right hand side. When you're happy, simply mark your measurement in the sheet. To take your cross front measurement, simply find the nape or the neck point, measure down roughly 7 centimeters, and try and draw a line parallel to the floor across the front of the chest. You want to be measuring from arm side to arm side. The arm side is a line that extended up from the from the armpit to the shoulder point. Just to demonstrate, so you draw a line up from the armpit roughly to the shoulder point, and this is where you're measuring from side to side. Once you've found your measurement, simply take it and enter it into your chart. On the center back of the body, ask your model to move her head forward to find the most prominent bone on the back of the neck. This is your nape. Simply measure from the nape down the center back to the waist. Once you're happy, simply record your measurement. Locate your waistline, about 3/4 around the waist. Simply place your measuring tape, measure down the back of the thigh and the leg until you reach the ground. Simply place your finger where it meets the ground and take your measurement. To measure the waist to hip, simply locate your hip measurement. On the thigh, simply place your finger to mark the location and measure from the waist directly down to the point that you've marked. This will be your waist to hip measurement. To locate your top hip measurement, simply locate the waist on the side of the body, measure down roughly 10 centimeters. Ask your model to place a finger, wrap the tape measure around the body at that location on the opposite side, keeping the tape measure parallel to the ground at all times. You can always adjust if necessary, and once you're happy with your adjustments, you can then simply record your measurement into the chart. To measure your arm side depth, very simply, ask the model to take 3 fingers, placing it under the crook of our armpit. Ask her to turn around, and using the very, very bottom finger, simply take your tape measure and measure directly across, place your tape measure directly across the body, find the center point, and measure from that point up to the nape of the neck. You can find the nape simply by tilting the head forward. It is the most prominent bone on the back of the neck. Once you're happy, take your measurement. Simply run your finger along the top of the clavicle bone until it meets the shoulder bone. Mark this point. Next, simply run your finger down the side of the neck and across the top of the shoulder muscle. Where these two meet, it's the side neck point. Simply take your tape measure and place it at the side neck point, run it along the top of the muscle, and when you're happy, record your measurement and enter into the chart. To take your neck measurement, simply find the neck point, which is located between the 2 clavicle bones at the center front. Simply place your tape measure and carefully, comfortably wrap the tape measure around the neck, asking your model to turn, until you find the nape of the neck. Once you've found the nape of the neck, simply take your measurement. Ask your model to place 2 fingers in the crook of her armpit. Using the very, very lower finger, simply place your tape measure up until it meets the lower finger, and simply measure around the entirety or circumference of the top arm. Once you're happy, simply take your measurement and record it into the chart. To take your wrist measurement, you want to take the largest part of the wrist, which is over the 2 bones located just here. Simply wrap your soft tape measure around the largest part of the wrist, make sure it's at right angles to the arm, and take your measurement. Wrap your tape measure around the whole circumference of the ankle, directly over the ankle bone. Make sure your tape measure is parallel to the floor, and record your measurement. Measure around the leg just above the ankle. It should be the narrowest part. Once again, make sure your tape measure is parallel to the floor and record your measurement. Ask your model to stand straight, adopting a good posture. Use the shoulder line and find the point roughly halfway between the neck and the shoulder. Measure from the shoulder to the bust point and then down to the waist. Once you're happy, simply record your measurement. Find your waistline. Using the side of the body, simply measure from the waist down over the thigh to the midpoint of the knee. Once you're happy, simply record your measurement. Using your shoulder point, originally marked using the shoulder, simply measure from the shoulder point down over the arm to the elbow, taking into consideration the bend in the elbow, and then down to your wrist bone, and simply record your measurement. To measure the knee, simply move your finger down to the base of the kneecap, move slightly higher to find the midpoint, and then measure around the entire circumference of the knee, making sure your tape measure is parallel to the floor. Once you're happy, record your measurement. First, ask your model to sit on a stool in a comfy posture with her back straight. Next, locate the waist and simply measure down the centre back from the waistline to the very base of the chair. Once you're happy, take your measurement and record in the chart.